Is Webflow Enterprise worth it? So, you have been working with Webflow for quite some time and now you realize, some features might be missing, or while scaling, you have the feeling that you need to make sure you can have the speed, but at the same time your site doesn't break. Or maybe you are thinking about migrating your existing site over to Webflow. Either way, you know your website is one of the most important assets of your business. It's actually your growth engine. And that's exactly where most people come across Webflow Enterprise. And obviously you would be asking yourself, is it really worth it? And this is what we are going to break down in this video. Over the past 2 years, we have built over 100 websites on Webflow here over at Magier. Everything from startups that just got started over to huge enterprise projects and even massive migrations with hundreds of websites. In the end, all of them wanted to level up their game when it came to their website. And also obviously most of the time the question came up is, if my website is so important, should I consider using Webflow Enterprise? Sometimes the answer is yes, it makes sense. Other times it's just overkill. In this video, I share my perspective of, on the one side, an entrepreneur myself. I've been building my websites on Webflow for over 6 years, and as an agency owner where we have been building massive Webflow projects in the last 2 years. What we are going to cover in this video is pretty simple and straightforward. First of all, we are going to start with what is Webflow Enterprise. Then we are heading over to the key features and benefits, and we are also comparing those to the other Webflow plans. Afterwards, we are going to talk about the real world ROI and show you some case studies. Next up, we are going to talk about who should consider using Webflow Enterprise and who shouldn't consider it. Then next up, we are heading over to the pricing, how you can actually buy it and what you can expect. And last but not least, I will give you my final verdict. Is it worth it? So let's dive into the video. What's Webflow Enterprise? Here's the deal. Webflow Enterprise isn't just another pricing tier where you can go there with your credit card and just purchase it. It's basically Webflow's solution for bigger companies that need more features and more speed. Think of it like this. The regular Webflow plans are made as a one-size-fits-all solution. Great for freelancers or small startup teams that are just starting out. Enterprise is more like for bigger companies, and there are some special things popping up. It can be stuff like compliance, speed, multiple people touching the website. All of this is when Enterprise comes into play. And this is stuff that most companies don't care about. It's the same for us at Magier. We are not at the level yet that there are 10 people in parallel working on the website. But there are enough companies out there that can really benefit from it. And in terms of the pricing, it really depends on a lot of different variables on what that actually looks like. They will literally ask you everything. They want to understand, what are your goals with the website? Then how many people are working at one given time? What are the requirements in terms of security? Also, what's the amount of traffic that you get? All these different questions. And then the Webflow team really works together with you on a strategic level to come up with a plan on how you can accomplish these things on Webflow on the one end, but then obviously also with a pricing that makes sense for you as the company and obviously for them because they make their money with it. In the Webflow Enterprise plan, you get a lot of fancy stuff. Advanced permissions, staging environments, activity logs, enterprise grade hosting, and all those compliance features like SOC 2 or SSO. And the big thing is you get a direct line to Webflow. So no more waiting in the support queue. You have a dedicated person that is working together with you on your success using Webflow as your website platform. That's also the reason why you see names like Upwork, DocuSign, Reddit using Webflow Enterprise, because all of these companies know exactly how important their website is. They want to make sure that A, their website is never down, and B, there's no wrong version published to the production environment. So in short, Webflow Enterprise has all the features we love already as Webflow users that are coming in probably on the smaller company size, but then they have been adding a bunch of other features on top of it that are super amazing, and I will talk about this a little bit later. And at the same time with the Enterprise plan, that they are making sure that you can scale your website from a little startup to giant enterprise corporate, that you don't lose your speed, and also most important that you don't lose any revenue while scaling, because your website will always be up, it will always be the right version. Let's talk about the key features of Webflow Enterprise and what you are going to get. Because on the website, if you take a look at it, they talk about security, they talk about scale, but in the end, obviously, as I said earlier, it's a whole process of them finding out what you really need, and then they really define all these features for you. But in practice, there's a couple of things that I would love as a customer, and let's talk about them in just a second. second. First of all, collaboration and permissions. If you ever had 3 people working on a Webflow project in parallel, you know it can quickly get messy. On the enterprise plan, you can actually assign role-based permissions. So, for example, the marketing team can do different stuff than the design team, than the development team. And even inside these teams, you can have approval workflows and make sure that everyone can work at the same time, but then nothing goes live without the right approval, and that's super, super awesome. Number 2, branching. This is the number 1 feature that I was always missing over the last couple of years on Webflow, because I'm coming from web development, and there we are using a system called Git. So basically, if I'm working on one feature of my product or website, I can create a copy of the main website, then work on my feature, and then once I'm done, I can merge in this version into the master again, while the rest of my team can still work on the master version and also publish this in between. And in Webflow, on the normal plan, that's not possible. On the enterprise plan, this is possible. It's called branching. We love it. And that means speed, 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 because I can make sure that marketing, design, and even multiple developers can work at the same time, and we can make sure to ship out everything in a lightning speed. Number 3, performance and scalability. Webflow is almost never down, but yes, it could be. With Webflow Enterprise, they guarantee you a 99.99% uptime with a global CDN and auto scaling. So even if there are massive amounts of users coming to your website, Webflow will handle it. And we all know this is super important because your website is generating revenue, and we want to make sure that it never goes offline. Number 4 is security and compliance. The bigger your company gets, the more important this will become for you. With Webflow Enterprise, you will get SOC 2, DDoS protection, single sign-on, and basically everything that your IT department asks for. Number 5 is localization. When Webflow was introducing their localization feature, it was a massive game changer. But for now, the amount of locals that you can have is limited in the business plans, in the starter plan. With Webflow Enterprise, you can spin up as many locals as you want. You can manage all of these translations, but also the governance in one single system. So that's super, super awesome. And number 6, dedicated support and strategic advice. And honestly, this is massively underrated. With your Webflow Enterprise subscription, you get a dedicated customer support manager. So this person is working together with you to make your journey on Webflow a success. And it all starts from planning out the whole project, thinking about, okay, which features do we need? What do we need in terms of getting the buy-in inside your company? And they are constantly at your side also trying to improve, and they can share their experiences of building Webflow basically, but also they see a lot of other clients. So that's super, super helpful, and it's almost like an external member of your team that is working inside of Webflow. When your site is mission critical, this can be worth a lot. Let's move over to some real world examples. Basically, features are nice, but in the end, they need to show a real world ROI, because otherwise it's useless. If you are taking a look at all the case studies on Webflow website, there are some very, very cool ones, and I just wanted to share some of them because it really shows what Webflow Enterprise is all about. Orange Theory, for example, said that they can build websites 80% faster. Circle claimed that their updates are now 13 times faster. And last but not least, Dormakaba said that they cut their marketing costs by 10x. As you can see here, the main topic is around speed and cost savings. So speed on the one side, because you can get your marketing pages faster to launch, and this is really revenue generating for you. And on the other side, with Webflow, it's totally different than all the other website builders and CMS, because most of the time the marketing department can do something without actually asking the development for help. And I've also seen it myself, because for a couple of our clients that we moved to Webflow Enterprise, we could unlock a crazy amount of speed. So they were able to pump out landing pages as quickly as never before, and also a lot of flexibility, because Webflow is super easy to use. You have the role-based system, and so multiple people could work at the same time. We recently helped a big security company to move over to Webflow Enterprise. And before, they were stuck because every single change, every single campaign needed to go through a rigid dev process. And once they moved over to Webflow Enterprise, it was totally different, because the marketing team could spin up landing pages in no time. They could make changes themselves, and it was just a massive game changer for them. Now they can go super quickly from idea to execution to result. I mean, in the end, results are all that matters. And here's the important thing for me. If I think about websites in general, it's crazy because the website of your business is the first touch point for literally everyone. No matter if employee, investors, potential clients, they will all be coming to your website. So you should really use this as one of the most important assets in your company. And I can't really understand how companies are not prioritizing it. I mean, they are spending hundreds and hundreds of thousands on ads, and then ultimately their page is not optimized, and it's just like a waste of money, waste of time, literally. I believe the website is the highest ROI channel that you have as a company. One landing page shipped 2 weeks earlier can literally mean hundreds of thousands in revenue. And that's obviously the leverage that Webflow gives you in general. They make web development super fast, and this only multiplies by using Webflow Enterprise. So let's move over to who should use Webflow Enterprise and who shouldn't use it. At this point, you are probably wondering, okay, is Webflow Enterprise right for me? Am I too early? And here's my honest take. Let's start first with who is Webflow Enterprise for? First of all, large marketing teams, 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 people. So a lot of people need to work on the website, on landing pages, on campaigns, on content. And in the end, you also need strict permissions to make sure that only the content goes live that should be live. Then obviously, if you are in a regulated industry, so fintech, security, healthcare, stuff like this, you need all the features when it comes to compliance and security. So third up, if your website is mission critical, so if you are generating revenue through your website, Webflow Enterprise might be a good choice because you make sure it's up all the time, you can move fast, you have all the flexibility, and yeah, in the end, also more revenue. And last but not least, if you want to have a dedicated person at Webflow cheering for your success. So on the one side, obviously you get dedicated support if something is going wrong, they help you right away, but there's also someone thinking strategically with you how you can leverage and improve the website experience for your clients and also generate higher ROI out of that. And then who shouldn't use Webflow Enterprise? If you are an early stage team under 50 people, most of the time Webflow Enterprise will be an overkill. A lot of the features that they have are nice, but you don't really use them or need them at your stage. Second up, if you just have 1 or 2 people working on the Webflow website. So, I mean, branching is super helpful, and also the role-based permissions if multiple people are doing it, but if it's just you and 1 developer or 1 developer and 1 designer, you don't really need it. And then last but not least, if you are just thinking about, okay, how can I get my first website live? Webflow Enterprise will be an overkill. One of the starter or business plans will be more than sufficient. And also, let's be transparent about the downsides of Webflow Enterprise. Number 1, the cost is significantly higher than any other business plans out there. And there might be a lot of companies out there that can't afford the enterprise plan and maybe also don't need all of the features in there. And then obviously you are tied into Webflow's ecosystem. If you have a lot of custom code, you need a lot of API, dynamic stuff happening, then Webflow might be a little bit limiting and you got some sort of lock-in effect, because if your website once lives in Webflow, you don't want to redo it later on. But I mean, Webflow is also doing a lot of changes in that regard, so most of the things you can already do, but just wanted to mention it anyways. As you can see, if you are small and scrappy, normal plans will do it. You will get most out of Webflow. And if you are enterprise, if you need like all these amazing features, and if you are big enough as a company, then enterprise is really worth checking out, especially if your website is your core asset. So let's move over to pricing and how to actually get Webflow Enterprise. As you can already imagine, there is no public pricing for Webflow Enterprise. And I was mentioning before that they have a ton of different features and a ton of things that they need to customize for your specific offer. And in the end, they want to make sure that you hit your goals with Webflow Enterprise. So for example, if leads are the thing that is important to you, if it's pushing out landing pages quicker, if it's like role-based permissions, they can really customize your offer. And in the end, they want to make sure that the offer fits the stage of the company and also your goals. And then they give you a specific quote at the end. They are basically looking how can they get you from A to B with the help of Webflow. And if you're asking yourself how you can actually get it, so there are 2 ways. You can either go through a certified partner. For example, you can come to us, Magier. We can talk about it if it makes sense for you, and then we will also do the onboarding together with the Webflow team, or you go directly to them, ask them for a quote, talk through the whole process, and then most likely they will suggest you a certified partner. So bottom line, it's not like upgrading your Netflix account. It's a full-on strategic conversation. And in the end, the pricing varies a lot on the stuff that you actually need. So is Webflow Enterprise actually worth it? Here is my take. If you are a large company with lots of people working at the same time, your website is mission critical, or you need some specific compliance features like SOC 2, SSO, and these kind of things, then Webflow Enterprise is right for you. Because your website is the core asset of your business and you want to make sure that the website performs on the one level, but also that you can quickly improve the website over time, almost as if it would be your product. Webflow Enterprise gives you speed, control, and peace of mind. And if you are a smaller team, for example, just starting out, you just need a marketing website, then all the other Webflow plans are totally fine. And the good thing is with Webflow, you can literally scale from having a website with one user on it to millions of users. And then you can also expand your plans over time. But for the specific amount of time where you are still a small company, few amounts of people are working inside Webflow, then the other plans will be totally fine. So that was my breakdown of Webflow Enterprise. I hope this video was helpful. And if you are evaluating if Webflow in the first place makes sense for your team, or if you're even thinking about moving over to Webflow Enterprise, make sure to reach out to my team over at Magier. You can book a demo call, you can send me an email, and we will guide you through the process together. Also, if you like the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up and a comment below. And if you want to hear more about marketing, design, and Webflow, make sure to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.